In 1998, physicists conducted an experiment that fractured our understanding of reality. They fired microscopic electrons through a barrier. When left completely alone, in total darkness, these electrons behaved like fluid waves, rippling, infinite, full of beautiful, chaotic possibility. They existed everywhere at once. But the moment the scientists placed a lens in the room to watch them, the universe flinched. Under the weight of observation, the fluid wave collapsed. The infinite possibilities vanished. The electron froze into a single, rigid, predictable particle. The scientists discovered a terrifying truth. Observation is not a passive act. It is a physical force. To look at something is to alter its destiny. You are conducting the exact same experiment, only your laboratory is a quiet bedroom at 2 a.m. Your instrument of measurement is a glowing screen, and the particle you are trying to measure is him. Think of the invisible architecture you have built around this man. The psychic real estate he occupies in your mind. The quiet, surgical dissection of his every text, his every silence, his every retreat. You hold the vision of his potential like a heavy, golden crown standing in the doorway, waiting for the day he is finally ready to wear it. You believe your unwavering focus is the bridge that will bring him home. But quantum law dictates otherwise. By keeping your psychic gaze locked onto him, by monitoring his healing, his awakening, his inevitable return, you are collapsing his wave of potential. Your hypervigilance is the very wall keeping him trapped in the identity of the unawakened man. Today, we dismantle the laboratory. We are going to explore why the most profound mechanism for his evolution and your ultimate liberation is the mastery of the unseen gaze. Let us look beneath the surface of your dynamic and examine the invisible architecture that holds you both in place. To understand why he is not moving, we must look through two lenses at once. We must understand the human nervous system and the laws of quantum entanglement. When two people share a profound resonance, their connection is not merely emotional, it is a literal, energetic tether. Your nervous systems become inextricably linked. Distance becomes an absolute illusion. Time becomes irrelevant. You can feel him when he is thousands of miles away. You can sense his shifts in mood before he ever speaks a single word. This level of spiritual empathy is a beautiful gift, but right now, it is functioning as your personal prison. In this dynamic, you are operating as the anxious heart. He is operating as the unawakened counterpart. Because you are deeply intuitive, you can easily see his highest timeline. You see his brilliant potential. You see the man he is capable of becoming beneath his heavy layers of trauma, conditioning, and fear. And so, you have made it your silent mission to hold that vision for him. You believe that if you just love him enough, if you just hold the space long enough, he will finally step into that version of himself. It is a deeply noble intention, but there is a heavy shadow side to this devotion. Your spiritual support has slowly mutated into something else entirely. It has become a mechanism of control. It has become energetic surveillance. Energetic surveillance is the act of constantly monitoring his progress from afar. It is the quiet, compulsive checking of his social media accounts to see if his patterns have changed. It is the hours spent dissecting his behavior and analyzing his psychology. You have read the books. you understand attachment styles. You have intellectualized his trauma to the point where you know his internal landscape better than he knows it himself. But this intellectualization is a trap. Even when you are in strict no contact, you are still actively watching him in your mind. You are projecting a massive amount of dense, concentrated energy toward him. Every single time you wonder why he is pulling away again, you are emitting a specific frequency, and that frequency is deeply rooted in lack. It is a silent broadcast that echoes into the quantum field. You are constantly transmitting the message that he is not ready. You are telling the universe that he is broken. You are declaring that he is not where he should be. Even if you never speak these words out loud, his nervous system hears them loud and clear. In quantum physics, there is a phenomenon known as the quantum Zeno effect. It states that a system cannot change its state while it is being continuously measured. A watched subatomic particle is frozen in time. A watched soul is no different. By constantly measuring his spiritual progress, you are freezing him in his current state of unconsciousness. The unawakened counterpart is highly sensitive to this invisible pressure. He may not understand it intellectually, but his physical body registers the demand you are placing upon him. When he feels the heavy, suffocating gravity of your expectations, his nervous system perceives it as a genuine threat. He feels the psychic weight of your gaze. He feels the energetic leash wrapped tightly around his chest. Every time you check his status, you tug that invisible cord. Every time you desperately wonder what he is thinking, you pull the leash tighter. And what does any living creature do when it feels a leash? It pulls against it. It recoils. It digs its heels into the dirt. He retreats into avoidance, not because he is trying to hurt you, but because his nervous system is instinctively trying to preserve its autonomy. The more you pull, the more he must resist. He is suffocating under the weight of your unyielding observation. This brings us to the devastating reality of quantum mirroring. The outside world is always reflecting your internal state. You are currently resisting the reality of who he is right now. You are rejecting his present state of unconsciousness, preferring the fantasy of who he could be in the future. Because you are resisting him, he has no choice but to resist you. You have created a completely stagnant energetic field. By observing him endlessly as the man who needs to heal, you collapse his quantum wave of potential. You trap him in that exact identity. You are energetically forcing him to play the role of the unhealed, avoidant man. As long as you observe him as broken, he cannot be whole. You are holding him hostage in the intricate labyrinth of your own mind. You think you are waiting for him to break free, but you are the one holding the key to his cage. As long as your blinding spotlight is fixed on him, he is paralyzed. He cannot evolve while he is being spiritually micromanaged. To break this relentless cycle of energetic surveillance, we must completely invert your approach. We must dismantle the invisible laboratory you have built around his potential. We must move away from the blinding spotlight of your attention and step into something infinitely more powerful. We must enter the sovereign void. Nature inherently understands the absolute necessity of the void. True alchemy never happens in the light. A seed cannot germinate under the glaring heat of the midday sun, like it requires the heavy, silent, crushing isolation of the dark soil. It requires absolute privacy to break open and transform. If you plant a seed in the earth and then dig it up every single morning just to check if the fragile roots are growing, you will inevitably kill the seed. Your constant, anxious observation destroys the very miracle you are trying to cultivate. Human consciousness operates under the exact same law. The profound spiritual mutation you are waiting for him to undergo cannot happen while you are watching. You watch him because watching feels like a form of control. It feels like a distorted substitute for connection. When you cannot hold him in the physical world, your mind tries to hold him in the energetic world as you analyze his actions, because it gives you a false sense of safety. You believe that if you can just understand his avoidant behavior, you can predict the final outcome. But this intellectual mastery is an absolute illusion. It keeps your nervous system locked in a perpetual state of hypervigilance. You are burning your own precious energy reserves to illuminate his path, leaving your own internal landscape completely in the dark. This is the paradigm shift you must integrate into your nervous system today. His awakening is not your project. His spiritual evolution is not your responsibility. You have taken on the role of the energetic architect of his life, but you were never meant to carry that immense weight. You are exhausted because you are trying to bend reality to your will. You are trying to force a flower to bloom long before its season. The profound pain you feel right now, this bone-deep exhaustion and endless waiting, is not actually happening because he is failing to step up. It is happening because your own soul is applying immense pressure to you. Your soul is starving for your own attention. You have taken the vast, beautiful, radiant life force that rightfully belongs to you, and you have entirely outsourced it to him. You have made this man the main character of your own spiritual journey. You have relegated yourself to the role of a supporting actress in the movie of his healing. But you are the sovereign, or at least you are meant to be. True transformation, both his and yours, can only occur away from the eyes of the other. It requires the creation of the sovereign void. This is a space of absolute energetic withdrawal. It is the conscious decision to stop projecting your life force into his timeline. It is the deliberate act of pulling your energy back into your own physical body. When you create the sovereign void, you are not giving up on him out of anger or bitter resentment. You are stepping back out of profound spiritual maturity. You are recognizing that your hyper-focus is actually a subtle form of spiritual ego. You are acknowledging that the universe does not need your constant supervision to do its work. By withdrawing your gaze, you instantly remove the crushing gravity that was holding him in place. You drop the invisible leash. When you step into the sovereign void, the dynamic fundamentally shifts. You are no longer the anxious heart waiting for breadcrumbs of change. You become the immovable mountain. You become the deep, still ocean. The sovereign does not beg for alignment. The sovereign does not wait for a fragmented man to become whole. The sovereign simply exists in her own undeniable power. This shift requires immense courage. It requires you to face the terrifying possibility that if you stop holding the connection together, it might fall apart entirely. but a connection that requires your constant energetic labor to survive is not a divine union. It is a trauma bond dressed up in spiritual clothing. Imagine what happens in the unseen realm the exact moment you truly let go. Suddenly, the unawakened counterpart looks up. The psychic demand has vanished. The heavy, suffocating pressure he has been fighting against for months or years is simply gone. There is nothing left for him to resist. There is no one pushing him to heal. There is no one silently judging his lack of progress. There is only silence. And in that terrifying, beautiful emptiness, something profound happens. He is finally forced to meet himself. When you remove your energetic buffer, he no longer has your light to warm himself by. He no longer has your profound understanding of his psychology to explain away his bad behavior. He is left entirely alone with his own reflection. For the first time, he must face his own shadows. He must feel the sharp edges of his own avoidance. He must confront the emptiness of his own unhealed wounds. You must let him wander in the dark if he is ever going to learn how to generate his own light. The sovereign void is the only place where he can finally learn how to see. And it is the only place where you can finally learn how to rest. Understanding the quantum mechanics of your connection is only the beginning. Intellectual comprehension is merely the first step on the bridge to actual liberation. The true challenge lies in the physical body. It lies in the deeply ingrained habits of your nervous system. Your mind has been heavily conditioned to monitor him. Your brain has developed a profound chemical addiction to the cycle of waiting, analyzing, and hoping. To break this addiction, you must move from intellectual theory into embodied practice. You cannot simply think your way out of energetic surveillance. You must actively train your nervous system to release its grip. You must learn how to sever the invisible cords of attachment. You must recalibrate the entire frequency of your connection. This requires 3 profound internal movements. You must practice them daily. You must practice them with fierce dedication. The first movement requires you to consciously reclaim your energetic leash. Right now, your life force is bleeding out of you. It is traveling across time and space to wrap itself around his potential. Every time you feel the overwhelming urge to check his social media, you are leaking energy. Every time you replay a past conversation to decode his true feelings, you are throwing your power into a void. You must stop this immediately. You must visualize the invisible thread that extends from your chest to his. See this cord in your mind. Acknowledge its presence without judgment. And then, with absolute grace and undeniable authority, you must pull that thread back. Imagine reeling this golden line of energy back into your own physical body. Feel it settling deep into your own center. You must silently declare to the universe that you are calling your power back to source. You must starve the dynamic of your surveillance. Refuse to look at his digital footprint. Refuse to discuss his psychological profile with your friends. Close his file in your mind. Seal the envelope. Give him the profound dignity of his own private journey. As you reclaim this energy, you will inevitably encounter the second movement. You must learn to cultivate and endure the sovereign void. When you suddenly stop focusing all your attention on him, you will feel a terrifying rush of emptiness. Your nervous system will likely panic. It will flood your body with anxiety. For months or perhaps years, your brain has used the act of worrying about him as a twisted form of safety. Monitoring him became your proxy for actual connection. When you remove that coping mechanism, the silence will feel deafening. You will feel an intense withdrawal. Do not run from this agonizing emptiness. Do not pick up your phone to numb the discomfort. This emptiness is the sacred void. It is the exact space where your own healing finally begins. Sit inside of it. Breathe deeply into the center of the panic. When the heavy grief of letting go of his potential arises, you must let it burn completely through you. You're finally building the emotional capacity to hold your own pain. You're no longer projecting your discomfort onto his timeline. You are shifting from the frantic energy of the anxious heart into the grounded stillness of the sovereign. The final movement is the mastery of emotional neutrality. We call this the art of forgetting. This does not require sudden amnesia. It does not mean you force yourself to pretend he never existed. True forgetting is about achieving an absolute state of neutrality. It is about redirecting your hyper-focus so intensely toward your own life that the connection is forced to recalibrate in the background. You must engage with your own joy so fiercely that you genuinely forget to wonder what he is doing. You must become completely consumed by your own physical body, your own creative pursuits, and your own beautiful expansion. When you truly forget to monitor him, you release the quantum collapse. You return him to a state of infinite potential. You stop holding the heavy architecture of the relationship together with your sheer willpower. You step back and allow the universe to take over the heavy lifting. This is the ultimate secret of the unseen gaze. When your attention is entirely consumed by your own radiant life, you become a massive center of gravity. You are no longer leaning out over the edge of your own existence, desperately trying to pull him forward. You are standing firmly in the center of your own kingdom. You become an undeniable force of nature, and it is only from this place of absolute detachment that any real transformation can occur. You must give him the ultimate gift of your absence. You must let the silence do the work that your words and your worrying could never accomplish. You must trust the dark, fertile soil of the void. Let him go. Let the energy settle. Return to yourself. The greatest act of love you can offer a soul that is struggling to awaken is to look away. It is the ultimate paradox of the human heart. We hold on so tightly because we are terrified that if we let go, they will fall. We are terrified that if we stop watching, they will forget us. But gravity works differently in the realm of the soul. When you finally drop the heavy tangled threads of expectation, when you stop waiting for the man to change, the change finally has room to breathe. By returning your gaze to your own soul, you become an anchor of peace. You no longer need his evolution to feel safe. You are already safe. You are already whole. Let him wander in the dark. Let him find his own light. And you step back into your sovereignty. Until next time, keep your eyes on your own beautiful horizon